welcome to a rolling ramble. It is Friday. I had so much fun last night at our pajama party. Oh my goodness. I laughed so hard. I love it. I need that kind of stuff. It just breaks up my week and gives me some relaxing, just fun time. Loved it. But I was watching videos on my way to work. I shouldn't say watching, because I'm really not looking at the camera, to be honest. I'm listening to videos on my way to work. And I just heard one by Crystal at the Wiggy Keto Ladies Journey, Sola. So I wanted to respond to it because I knew I wasn't going to be able to post a comment at all until who knows when, today or tomorrow, because I don't even get off work till tonight at 10. It's 7:20 in the morning now. So I was like, you know what? This is something, the points that she made in her video is something that we all need to be reminded of every now and then on our journey. I definitely know that I do. So I thought I'm just going to do a video response to Crystal's discussion this morning. And then I'll link her channel below. Alrighty. So one of her issues was, she said she's having potty issues. And at first I thought she meant that she was constipated. And she said no, she mentioned later on that she wasn't uncomfortable, she didn't feel swollen, just that she doesn't go like she used to, and it's been a couple days. So I wanted to address that. That most of us find that same, not all of us, but most of us find the same thing. When you're on a ketogenic diet, you're producing less waste than the standard American diet. Because think about it, on the standard American diet, there is so much carbohydrates that they swell and they bulk up and they take up more room, and it's just overall more volume there. And you're not using all of it. Our body can't use all that stuff, so it gets passed on through. On the ketogenic diet, the body is using the food that we're giving it much more efficiently. It's using it up, so therefore there's less waste. Plus, there's no carbohydrates, so there's a lot less bulk and volume. It's not getting swelled up and pushed through at the same rate. So my bowel movements before keto, I know this is TMI, guys, but we all have to poo. My bowel movements before keto was normally 3 times a day, to be honest. Nobody needs to be going to the bathroom 3 times a day. That should have told me right there I was eating way too much food. Now I go to the bathroom every 2.5 to 3 days. And I had the same issues when I first got started. It felt there must be something wrong. I don't feel constipated, but my goodness, I haven't gone. And, no, that's a normal. So if you're not uncomfortable, you just realize you hadn't pooed in 24 to 48 hours, don't worry about it. That is normal, because it's just we're more efficient of using the food that we're giving our body. We're creating less waste, and there's not as much bulk and volume, on this diet. When the food gets broken down, it actually shrinks. Whereas when you're introducing all that carbohydrates, when the stomach acid and those kind of things, the digestional juices hit that, they actually swell up. Just like, think of a dough ball and it's swelling up. It actually swells up in your body, produces more waste. Okay, so one of our other comments was her magnesium was where it should be, but she had leg cramps and her sodium was low. Yes, if you're not paying attention to your sodium, it doesn't matter how much magnesium and potassium you're taking in, they can be on point. But if your sodium's too low, your sodium is what allows our bodies to hold on to the rest of the electrolytes. So you got to pay attention to the sodium so the rest of the can take care of themselves. So the sodium is the most important. So she said she's going to jump hers up. That's a good thing. And then she talked about her calories. That some days her calories are around 1,200, and other days they're up around 1,600. And she's wanting to try to even that out. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Your overall calorie consumption for, like, say, a week's time is what's important. So if you have a day where it's very, very low, and then you have a day where it's very, very high, and that all evens out. Your body's not going to be like, oh, she only ate 12 today, she ate 12 today, she ate 12 today. Oh, this day she ate 18, we're packing on a pound. That's not the way it works. So it's an overall average. You're going to gain weight when you're consistently overeating. If you're up and you're down and you're down and you're up a little bit and you're down, you're not going to gain weight, because it's about that overall consistent up in calories every day. You got to realize, to gain a pound, you have to overeat by 3,500 calories. 3,500 calories to gain 1 pound. So if you're going over by 200 calories a day, it's going to take you a long time to gain a pound. When we see gains on the scale over just a 24-hour period, that's water weight. That's water retention. That's inflammation caused by the things we eat. Our body might not have agreed with something that we ate, caused a little bit of water retention or inflammation, but it's not fat gain. And inflammation and water retention, we can get right back off. And we shouldn't let that affect our mental aspects of this journey and let that derail us. So as long as you know you're staying on plan, then trust the process and don't worry about that scale, because that scale is the devil. And we honestly need to chuck that thing out the window and do what Abby Davis does and a few other people who pay attention to their clothing sizes. And Crystal mentioned that she wore a blazer this week that she couldn't fit in, even though in the last 2 weeks she hasn't lost anything. And I think she actually said her scale went up 6 ounces. Okay, that's a fantastic thing, and that's what you want, because that's telling me that you are gaining lean muscle mass. So your body is gaining muscle mass, leaning out. It's trading muscle for fat, all that kind of good stuff. There's not an actual physical trade. You're losing one, you're gaining the other. And muscle per volume, per inch, square inch, is a higher weight than fat per square inch. So don't worry about if you went up on the scale, if you notice that you're visibly smaller. And it's fantastic that your husband's pointing that out. Mine did the same for me a few months ago. I had went up quite a bit on the scale, and I was sort of letting that scale bother me a little bit. And he's like, well, I can see you're smaller. I went and got the tape measure and measured myself, and I had lost 4 inches in that amount of time that I was gaining the weight. So that is a wonderful thing. So don't worry about that. Try not to let that scale influence you, especially ladies, when we know that our body cycles anyway. We have our down cycle after our periods, then we have our up cycle before our periods. We can't get upset when it's just our natural biorhythms, when it's a natural rhythm of our body. Don't let that scale upset you when you know you should be gaining at that time. That's naturally how we function. So that's just a few of the points. It's hard to remember a video and everything that was talked about in it. But I'm thinking that's everything that she had, all the points that she had brought up in her video. So don't worry about it, Crystal. You're doing fantastic, and you're looking for fantastic. And everybody else that's stressing about this kind of stuff, remember, it's just natural body functions. And as long as you're following the keto plan, that scale will be on the downward spiral again at some point. Don't put too much stock in what the scale says, because of all diets, the keto diet makes that scale untrustworthy. So there almost gets a point where you just sort of need to chuck it, because it really doesn't matter what it says. As long as you're eating on plan, you're going in the right direction. Alrighty, guys, I am just rambling at this point. And I'm almost at work. So you guys have a wonderful Friday, and I will talk to you tomorrow, and have a great day. Blessings.